This is HMS Illustrious. £1 billion worth of military muscle. Weighing in at 22,000 tonnes, she's home to nearly 1,000 sailors. Who are about to embark on a phenomenal mission halfway round the world, exercising this warship's might. It's the big day. Illustrious is getting loaded up for her 4-month deployment.
Hi, Gary!
2 years of planning has gone into this moment.
We've got about 300 boxes of potatoes, 30 boxes of apples, 30 boxes of oranges, pears, bananas. All this lot together, this costs about £25,000 worth of food.
Not to mention an arsenal packed with live bombs and ammo. They'll also be delivering trucks to the Maltese Army. And coming on board, one Range Rover for the captain's trips ashore. Steve Chick's new on board, and Illustrious is the biggest ship he's ever been in charge of.
Obviously, there's an element of nervousness for anybody in taking command of a ship for the first time, getting to know the ship, getting to know how it handles, and getting to know the people that are within it.
And everyone's feeling a bit nervous, including 23-year-old Millie.
I've been to sea before only for a few weeks though, so I'm not sure what it's going to be like living on a ship for 4 months.
For the families left behind, it's never easy.
Son and daughter on board, they're twins and they were 19 yesterday.
Twin Michael, or Shiner as he's known, is a chef, and his sister Rachel's just landed herself a job as steward. It'll be her first time at sea.
I do get really homesick sometimes, but when we get back, Mum will make a fuss over us and it will make it all better. So I think we'll be going out together and stuff like that on a night out, won't we?
Well, it depends what you're wearing, really.
My clothes aren't that bad.
But someone who won't be partying with Shiner anymore is his girlfriend.
I feel sick. It's like the first time he's ever gone away for so long.
Caitlin, yeah. Been with her about 7 months now. She's used to me going away.
It's the worst I've ever felt in my life, and I don't know how people do it.
Illustrious, or Lusty as she's known, is now bursting at the seams. So before they go, the captain's Range Rover has got to come off. Finally, they can put to sea.
The captain has a ship.
Captain has a ship.
Rookie crew member Matt Reddy doesn't know when he'll see England again.
Of course, we're always nervous about the unexpected and just not knowing really what's going to happen.
On this deployment, Illustrious could be diverted to the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan at any time.
Leaving my girlfriend for the first time, so that was difficult, saying goodbye.
I'm going to miss him so much, but I'm so proud of what he's doing and I'm really excited for him.
But there is a plus side for some.
I only ever decorate when he's away, because then he can't argue.
The deployment to the Indian Ocean is codenamed Orion 08, and it takes them on a mission fraught with danger. Illustrious is an obvious terrorist target, and her first choke point is the Strait of Gibraltar.
With a magazine of 25 rounds, load.
Lusty's sailing with Merlin helicopters. They hunt out and destroy submarines. In Malta, Lusty gets a chance to show off the best of British.
Fall in on the aft end of the flight deck!
Then it's through the Suez Canal into some of the world's most hostile waters.
A challenge must be given by shouting, Navy, stop or I fire. Has anybody questions on that?
Here, they'll be joined by the awesome Harrier jump jets. They'll be training on board before heading for Afghanistan to help the fight against the Taliban. But before the deployment can get underway, they've got to prove they're battle ready. And until they do, they can't leave British waters. As they head out of Portsmouth, they're all getting used to being cooped up in the ship that's going to be their home for the next 4 months. On foredeck, Captain Chick gets his own quarters, which come with chef and steward.
He gets his breakfast, lunch and dinner and coffees throughout the day, really, whenever he feels like he needs one.
Right under the noisy flight deck, there's more modest accommodation for trainee officers like John Little, also known as Sid.
I've got a fairly nice cabin. It's a double cabin with just me in, so there's quite a lot of space in there. It's nice to bring a few extra bits and pieces on board so you can make your cabin a little bit more homely. I like to bring my own duvet and duvet covers and things, because the ones that are issued are fine, but just not quite as nice as your own.
Next door, new roommates Millie and Susie are getting to know each other.
When I first joined the Navy, I didn't know how to wear hair in a bun.
I did, because I'd gone to cadets, so I was like, hard.
Sorry.
I can't imagine you with short hair, actually.
Yeah, I was wrapped. She had a cabin to herself before I moved on. Whilst we knew each other, to say hello and what have you, we didn't know each other as well as I'm sure we will do soon.
And just above the waterline on 5 deck is where it gets even more cosy. When you join up as a junior rate like Jason Farnsworth, it's 40 to a cabin.
You got 6 on either side and like 3 up, which is quite a lot for a small bit of area. One of them's just having a kip at the moment, and young Jackman. Jacko, come here, you got a surprise.
HMS Illustrious, the nation's flagship aircraft carrier's just left Portsmouth, and her crew won't be home for another 4 months. But joining the Navy isn't just about seeing the world. For Sid Little, the fashion industry just didn't cut it.
I was working at a clothes shop, and it wasn't really what I was going to do for the rest of my life, so I thought I'd make a career choice and join the Navy pretty quickly after that.
Susie Williford's an ambitious Grade A trainee officer.
I realised that this was what I wanted to do. I wanted to be an officer in the Navy. I wanted to drive ships. I wanted to be in command.
But 19-year-old Jason Farnsworth's reasons are a bit less ambitious.
Truthfully, why I joined the Navy, because I was just having a shit time of it back at home.
Lusty's older than most of her crew.
She's been refitted several times in her life, and so actually, you know, she's as capable, if not more capable, than she was when she first came into commission.
Lusty's vital statistics are impressive. She's 210 metres long. That's like 25 double-decker buses laid end to end. She's got 19 decks, 13 lifts, a bakery, and 5 galleys serving 2,500 meals a day. Driving the ship are 4 gas turbine engines. The same were used on Concorde, each giving 200 times more power than a family car. Helping keep Lusty in perfect working order are the marine engineers.
When we're ready, they need 1022 back as a matter of priority.
And their lieutenant commander is Helen Ashworth.
As a person, I think she is a very elegant but very classic old lady. She's got a lot of miles on the clock and she's been worked very, very hard, but she's the fleet flagship and she's out there doing the nation proud.
But like any old lady, Lusty has her ailments. And within hours of leaving port, the fridge is playing up. So, Captain Chick's got a dilemma: to continue and risk losing all the food, or face the embarrassment of heading home again.
We potentially would have written off the order of £50,000 worth of food in that freezer. I mean, it's a big freezer, able to feed 850 people for up to 4 months.
So after her grand exit, Lusty heads back, and the media have a field day.
Wave 105.
It's 10 o'clock. A faulty fridge has forced the aircraft carrier HMS Illustrious to return to Portsmouth. She only left 2 days ago for the Indian Ocean.
The problem was discovered with the industrial size unit during pre-deployment exercises between here and Plymouth.
Just 2 days after she left port, Lusty's back.
People just say goodbye to their families, thinking they're going away for 4 months. And to come back here and have to redo all that again, it's kind of easier for the captain to just say, no, leave. People don't have to make that decision.
In true Navy style, the crew form a chain to get all the food off and stored until the fridge is fixed. But down on 9 deck, Head of Marine Engineering, Peter Gilbert's investigating another nautical nightmare. This time it's in the engine room.
Where's the team working at the moment?
Hello, Jim.
Yeah. Good.
Flight engineer.
There's a problem, and Peter's got to get to the bottom of it.
See in the corner there, one of 4 of my high-pressure air compressors, which unfortunately needs some fairly serious maintenance.
High-pressure air compressors, or HPACs, help to start the engines. And they're also needed to supply air for breathing apparatus when fighting fires.
The machinery in here is about 26 years old, and although it gets regularly serviced, after a while they do fail. This one failed on me last night.
Remaining cool, Captain Chick tries to keep things in perspective.
The analogy is perhaps taking your car out of the garage after 6 months and finding the tyres are flat or the oil needs topping up. And that's what we've been going through at this early stage.
For ex-roofer Darren Marshall, his first trip to sea isn't what he was expecting.
When you sign up, you don't think about, you know, the crap bits. You think about all the good stuff that you're going to see. At the moment, it's a bit crap.
The engineers have finally fixed the fridge. But Peter's still got problems with the HPACs.
My ship staff have been working through the night to diagnose the fault on this, and the idea is, through today, we can rectify it and be ready to go back to sea tonight.
Peter's feeling the pressure. All eyes are on his team to sort this problem out before the end of the day. There are deadlines to be met on the deployment, and as it falls further behind schedule, Peter has the task of updating the captain.
Where are we?
So we will not be in a position to sail at 1900, but work is progressing, and at this stage I'd still like us to consider planning for the midnight option.
Okay.
The reason I say that is
It's not the news Captain Chick wanted to hear.
It's going to be a long night.
Let's hope it is.
Yeah, that is hope it is. Not allowed to swear on camera, am I?
Keeping the ship clean is an obsession, especially when Executive Officer Tim Johnston's around.
Scuppers and those. Other than that, they're fine.
He's the captain's right-hand man and does his dirty work.
They haven't been cleaned, and they need to be cleaned to be hygienic. Rounds are a daily event, usually in the evening on the ship, and it's checking security, watertight integrity, cleanliness, overheads, for hygiene reasons, and discipline morale.
He's a tough taskmaster.
But these are pretty skanking, actually.
And between the male and female mess decks, he believes there's a clear divide.
They do smell different and look different.
Men and women have to live in close confines in the modern Navy.
I suspect when women first went to sea, it must have been so strange for the men and the women to suddenly be sort of together.
There are 100 women on Illustrious.
It's human nature that relationships will happen on board because there's so many men and women. When you're actually on board, when you're at sea, you should keep that to yourself and you should act professionally.
And if you don't, there's trouble.
There is a strict no-touching rule on board in naval regulations, and I'm pleased to say that 99% of the time that's adhered to by the ship's company. Obviously, for the times it isn't, then that's a matter for the service police.
On 3 deck are the officers' cabins, where Steward Rachel's settling into a new job.
I have to hoover the cabins, take the laundry, clean the sinks, take any dirty glasses, dirty teacups, stuff like that away. Just generally make sure that their cabins are clean for them, free from dust. It's on the back table up there, if you don't mind, sir. We also work in the wardroom, on the tables, at meal times. There you go, sir.
Thank you very much, thank you.
They love their cheese, and there's got to be a lot of it, really. We do 3 cheese boards and special little things like to make the officers feel all special. It's lovely, but we're not allowed it.
Back down on 9 deck, the marine engineers have been working flat out to get the compressors fixed and Lusty back to sea. They've had a disastrous start, but it looks like they're winning at last.
The HPACs are all fixed, all 4 of them. The freezers are fixed. There's been a huge amount of work achieved, and the team have done an amazing job. A huge relief and a huge engineering feat.
5 days behind schedule, Illustrious has some catching up to do. She's heading for a naval exercise area off the coast of Plymouth, where she can finally start doing her job as a warship. Illustrious is bristling with military hardware. This close combat weapon is called a minigun, though it's anything but mini. As a trainee warfare officer, Millie's got to get to grips with it.
The fact that we're a warship is quite... I don't think it's scary, but I think it's more exciting.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take you through the basics of the preps for firing for the minigun, all right? This thing's going to be on the upper deck most of the time in either the Indian Ocean or the Gulf. You get 3,000 rounds a minute, it's about 50 rounds a second. If anything's coming in towards a ship and you open up, it's not going to stand a chance, really.
Going to war would be scary, but I think I'd find it quite exciting.
Go on then, go for it. Keep it going. Keep it.
I think it's pretty simple to use. Turn it on, press the button.
And again. That's it, ammunition expended.
Gunner Ollie Stocker's got a bigger weapon to fire. He's learning to change the barrel of a 20mm anti-aircraft gun fast.
What was our best time?
1 minute 20.
1 minute 20. Which is good, but need to be faster.
Ollie signed up 18 months ago.
One main reason why I joined, get to travel around and go to all these different countries and that. And there's nothing else for me to do really at home. That's to work in Asda or McDonald's or somewhere like that.
And there's a bonus. His old man's on board.
Oh, I love it, I love it. I could actually sue you. You can't sue me for this, mate. Bother telling Mum anyway. Fatherly love. If it was on a smaller ship like a 42, it probably would be more close for comfort, but as we're on a carrier, normal routine running of the day, I don't really get to see him much.
Oh, mate. That's when I've got to go home and tell my mum to sort him out.
The worst place to work on the ship is the rubbish dump, where Jason Farnsworth's just landed himself a 3-month stint with the Gash Party.
I just want to apologise for my family as well, if you see me. I'm only doing this for a day, stand-in for one of my mates.
He sees the Navy as a way to pursue his real passion.
I love playing football, and they did tell me when I joined up that I would be getting flown left, right and centre to play for the football team, so I kind of joined up for that.
I wouldn't mind if a few officers come down here. You know, they did 3 months on as well, but that ain't never going to happen.
Lusty's arrived at the naval training area as she enters a new phase. The crew now face an intense 2 weeks to prove they're ready for anything. Coming on board are the men who will decide, the Flag Officers Sea Training Team, or FOST, sent by the Admiral. Until the ship's company are primed for war, they're not allowed to leave UK waters.
When the inspection is over, we will report to the Commander-in-Chief that his ship, Illustrious, is ready to proceed with her programme.
Race on the bridge!
Everyone's got a role in defending the ship when it comes under attack.
Tretters at starboard 90, okay? That means it's exactly on our beam.
Jason gets off Gash duty to join the firefighting team.
Sort yourself out. No, up, up. Now you can let it clear just before you step away.
The FOSS team make it all as realistic as possible.
We physically switch off the engines, we stop the steering, we fill compartments with smoke. If the enemy doesn't tell you what he's going to do to you.
Millie's learning how to coordinate a damage control team.
Basically what we're doing, setting up here, because we can't get through yet because of the fire, setting up everything to go and deal with the flood as close as we can to that compartment.
And Rachel swaps looking after officers to caring for casualties.
Can you tell us your name?
The pressure's relentless.
Fire! Fire! Fire in 602!
The men from FOSS demand the highest standards.
Not at all happy, big fireball, we're going to chase you guys out.
Right, do you want to handle that?
No, I'm alright, I've got it.
And Lusty's crew have got to work hard to win the battle to allow this deployment to go ahead.
You've got to get it right. If you get it wrong, people get killed. You know, none of us want to have to write to someone's widow saying, sorry, we didn't train them properly.
But Ollie's having a bit of a mare. He's just broken his gun.
You've got the two big supports that come over and you get stuck in and it's just snapped clean off. It's not my fault, it's the wind. The wind blew it off. Seriously, Sally, there's my dad in there.
He's bust £125,000 worth of naval property. But luckily, he's got a shoulder to cry on.
Snapped it, cleaning off. The shoulder harness.
It's going to be a big 126 for you then, boy, isn't it?
Yeah.
For those that don't know, 126 means that he has to pay for it, so he'd be pretty gutted if he had to pay for a gun because it would cost him a fortune.
Today, the aircraft carrier goes to war. And Lusty's crew are prepared and raring to go.
Sleep well?
No, rubbish.
Well, sort of. A crack team of warfare experts are going to judge them on how they cope with the sea battle. If they impress, they'll deploy to the Indian Ocean. If they don't, they won't leave UK waters. The Flag Officer Sea Training Team, or FOSS, arrive from Portsmouth.
If they don't pass, they have to stay here and be trained for life.
And Captain Chick prepares his troops.
It is important because clearly that is the final hurdle to allow us then to go south and get on with our programme.
Thursday War's been scripted by FOSS, and they'll be coordinating other ships and aircraft to attack Illustrious.
Welcome to the Thursday War Brief. This is Ginger, the bad people surrounding the small country of Brownia. Peace talks have broken down and their naval and air forces have assumed a higher state of readiness.
So, the battle plans are drawn up.
Let's draw on what we've learnt this week and let's give it a damn good go.
The operations room is where they get the first inkling of any attack. It's also where Ollie's dad, Kevin, gathers intelligence.
This is the hub, the nerve centre, and this is where we'll fight the war from. The buzz I get out of it really is just being the known and being part of a team that sort of like works well.
Sid Little's part of the ops room team too. He's getting kitted up in his fireproof suit.
If there's any fires or flashes or anything, if we get hit by anything, we have anti-flash gear on, which protects us from flames and bits and pieces flying around. Then we go quite quickly when you're busy. Hopefully we'll get a good assessment at the end.
The only ones not wearing anti-flash gear are the examiners. They'll be scrutinising every action, every decision and every outcome of today's battle.
Training is very real, very realistic for those undertaking it. I mean, I know what's going to happen from minute to minute, but they do not know.
Up on deck, Ollie's broken gun's now fixed.
It was just old and the metal had just frayed. Called up another ship in the area and got a replacement part of them. They didn't have to charge me for it.
In a war zone, Illustrious sails with other ships, and today HMS Edinburgh and HMS Gloucester are part of her fleet.
First aircraft 066, 6 miles, second aircraft now 034, 14 miles, both aircraft.
In the ops room, Lusty's radars have picked up a fighter-bomber attack, or FBA.
Red continues to close now inbound at starboard beam at 25 miles.
It's Ollie's big chance to prove himself on his 20mm gun. From the bridge, the plane's been spotted too.
Where's it going, left to right? Inbound, 1 mile. Brace!
The ship's company brace for a direct hit.
Brace, brace, brace!
Low, heading west. No threat going for the group ahead of us.
Stand to.
Back in the ops room, Sid's leadership skills are being observed.
Sir.
Yeah.
So I've got a problem. Up here, ASW Alpha. He's fine, he's on ASW Alpha. Mark's on ASW Alpha.
Lots of people trying to talk to you all at once, and you've got to try and work out who's more important. Maybe sometimes your boss isn't the most important one who's talking, which is sometimes difficult to get across.
But between attacks, there's some respite.
We don't believe the next air raid is due on top for about another 25 minutes. So to keep the guys going and keep them interested, we've been given some action snacks. So we get some nice chocolate bars and a bit of a drink. It does actually make people lift. You can imagine after 5, 6, 7 hours of no food after breakfast, you're going to start dipping a little bit. Also a bit of a morale booster, keeps everyone happy, and you do look forward to it. Action snacks, excuse me.
And nothing gets past the examiners from FOST.
And then, yeah, exactly. You can go, oh, come on, I need all my maximum uses on that one, mate.
Yep.
And that's the way to do it.
Even though Lusty's at war, the crew still needs to be fed, and that's down to chefs like Shiner.
All right, Shiner, go open up the short door on the junior counter, mate.
On the dispersal, so I'll be taking food at people that can't come down here to get strung. Smack it in.
Take up then.
He's off on a mercy mission for those who can't leave their action stations.
Yes, sir.
Oh, guess where we're going.
For those who can, they have to make it quick.
Tables are for asses, not glasses! No, they're not, no! Glasses, not asses, sorry!
The Navy calls this action messing, a meal for the entire crew, cooked, served and cleared up in less than 90 minutes. Shiner's twin Rachel's a happy customer.
We have to eat as quick as possible so we can go back to our action stations. It's good considering the chefs had like an hour to make it all, so good.
Let's rub it down the bottom, then more eating! Happy, you're in. Looking good.
Last time we did this, though, we had an air threat warning halfway through, so half the guys didn't get fed. So quite lucky to be going first today.
An FBA attack now coming from the starboard side.
Lusty's again under attack.
Starboard lookout, two, inbound Illustrious!
Brace in the ops room. Aircraft overhead. Bang!
The ship's taken a hit. Now they have to find out where the damage is.
Star 2, carry out blanket search.
Flood in 8 Lima!
The flood's in the stores room where Millie's on damage control.
Take this message up, then we have done initial leak stopping on both splits. Okay, on one split now we have first aid leak stopping. Yep.
About 150 millimetres low.
Happy with that?
Laid foam.
They've got to show they're capable of stopping the ship from sinking. It's time to make life more difficult for Lusty.
The rudders are not functioning, so we can't steer ourselves in the water.
We pull ships in 2 different directions to see how they react by giving them conflicting requirements.
FOST is now throwing everything at them. On top of dealing with a sinking ship with no steering, they've also got casualties.
Head injury and burns to his hands.
They've turned the officers' dining room into a first aid post.
We've got a wet blanket here, so if we take another hit, we'll cover you up with that.
Director visual, hold our one small fast moving contact. Continuing close.
The crew have been pushed to their limit.
Brace the option!
Brace!
And the FOST team have made their decision. By the end of the day, Millie's team think they've done well.
You all did a cracking job down there today, right? You all turned up with the right gear, the right attitude, and if there was an incident down there, we would have won it quite easily.
Time for the verdict. The crew's feeling nervous. Deployment could be minutes away. And it's the moment they've been working for.
The morning's performance, I felt, was flat and uninspiring. There is absolutely no point in having a whole pile of trained chimpanzees passing information around without doing a little bit to add value. Please add value.
Not good enough, ladies and gentlemen.
Illustrious has failed. They've lost the war, and it's a huge blow.
Yeah, it's not nice because everyone works really hard and then kind of get shot down a bit.
But Executive Officer Tim Johnston's an eternal optimist.
Well, what a great day. Early start into a training war, into Portland tomorrow. Portland's about maintenance. Maintenance for kit, maintenance for people. Night leave will be granted. Get some good sleep, get some rest, and next week we can hit the ground running.
The results, perhaps weren't as good as one would like. What it did do was identify inexperience and some shortfalls that we have to address and tackle the same examination next week.
The ship's company's getting 48 hours alongside in Portland, but the gruelling schedule's taken its toll.
You get to the point where you're so tired and your body physically hurts all over and all you want to do is sleep.
Like 20-hour days and you're just shattered, aren't you? Because your body can only do so much and you're knackered, you're only getting 5 hours kip a night.
But there's no rest for Jason, because he's got to sort out the rubbish for ditching at pool.
He's found a vibrator. We've had some dirty underwear come through, which is always nice when it's early in the morning.
Never see any men's dirty underwear.
Oh, look at this.
Some new shoes.
New shoes.
After 3 weeks at sea, Lusty gets scrubbed up. And Jason finally gets to put out the rubbish.
Yes, I love ditching rubbish. Highlight of life. Right, lads, another 10 skips, you're nearly done.
You get to appreciate when you've been on board for quite a long time that, when you're working so hard, when we do get into a place, it is time for having a good time.
But one person is staying sober tonight, because someone's got to mind the ship and make sure no one goes too wild, and that's Lieutenant Chris O'Reilly.
So they're going to go ashore and do a bit of socialising, and it's our role here, really, to get them ashore safely and get them back safely.
For Kevin Ollie, shore leave is a chance for a family reunion. But going for dinner with his mum and sister isn't Ollie's idea of a great night out.
I'm not coming, you lot. I'm going with all the lads.
Hey! You're not coming out for dinner?
Nah.
Jason's out of his dustman's jacket.
Stop out for a quick drink, just a few social ones and a nice meal. That's it.
Because we've been working so hard, it's just been like, and we just a chance to go out and drink something other than Foster's. No touching rule doesn't apply, so it's just, yay. A bit of dancing, a bit of insubordination.
Yes, this is Rachel in civvies.
It's weird when you go out ashore in the pub and like 3/4 of people in there. They buy you drinks, you buy them drinks. It's a laugh, really.
How many pints I've had because I can't really remember. 11. I'm not too sure. 12.
For the officer of the day, it's a long night.
If they're really wobbly, then my concern is safety, because coming up that gangway, they're crossing over water. Usually that's enough when they see my smiling face at the top of the gangway. They pull themselves up and they start suddenly trying to walk in a straight line.
How are you? Okay, no tricks.
They're good boys and girls.
Right, young man. Who are you then? You don't have a name? Can you tell me your name?
HMS.
Say again?
HMS.
Sure of it. It's a little bit closer. Walking at the moment. Looks
If I'm concerned, I'll put them to one side and say, just hang on there a minute while I deal with something I've made up. I'm giving away all my secrets here. You know, and then I'll sort of have a look at them again in a couple of minutes. I've been watching them out the corner of my eye throughout this time anyway. And if I think they're good to go, then, you know, I'll get somebody to make sure they get back to their mess on time and fine. We're not going to get too upset about the fact that they've had, you know, a few drinks. It's only when they cause a bit of mischief, that sort of thing. Take them down the mess and we'll put them to one side. Part of it's medical to make sure that nothing drastic happens. So the service police will interview them, and provided there's been no other incidents related to that, they'll probably get a few words of caution to say, look, you know, come on, think about it next time, don't have quite so much to drink, and move on from there.
One of the last crew members to make it back is an inebriated Ollie.
It's been a good night. I'm looking forward to tomorrow night as well. Should be even better tomorrow night, because we start even earlier.
But deep in the bowels of the ship, a new problem's brewing, which sees tomorrow's shore leave cancelled.
He'd been at sea for a bit, so yeah, he was looking forward to have a couple of drinks, and I think he overdid it.
I don't.
No comment. No comment. You want to see the scar as well? Look, this is his good scar as well. You got one. That's where he fell on the curb.
That's why I tried to kiss someone.
Hangover food's the order of the day, because everyone needs to do their bit to get Lusty shipshape and back out to sea. On the quarterdeck, duties for the day are dished out.
But what you stand at is... Morning. Who's got hangover then? Yeah. I have. Right, this morning and today I want a full day's work out of you. Okay? Yes, I do want a full day's work out of you. Right, there's plenty to do. Keep it down. Pass ship. Ho! Turning for dismiss.
But down on 9 deck, the marine engineers have discovered another major headache. Helen Ashworth is giving Tim Johnston the lowdown on the latest crisis to hit Lusty.
Port shaft, this is what we've got. You can see an area that I've already marked out where something has marked the shaft.
Each engine is connected to a 70-metre shaft on both port and starboard. The shafts spin huge propellers, powering Lusty through the water. It looks like the port shaft has dropped and is rubbing on a bracket.
Any defect at all on the shaft line could be critical. My recommendation to the captain at the moment is we do not sail until we've had chance to do an investigation. First of all, I feel absolutely gutted that another defect has come along. Now, on the other hand, I think we're very lucky to have found it, because if that bracket hadn't been underneath the shaft, I wouldn't have seen the scoring, and therefore I could have had a catastrophic failure of the bearings, and ultimately this whole area we're standing in could be underwater right now.
Helen sends a naval diver down to check the propeller to see if that's causing the problem. Before long, the whole ship's buzzing with rumours.
What I heard is that we're being towed back to Portsmouth because both the engines are completely gone.
Even HMS Ark Royal's name is being mentioned.
We're going to have to go back to Portsmouth into the dry dock for 2.5 months. And the Ark's going instead of us, it's taking our place.
And the second rumour was nothing's wrong with the engines, we're going to Malta.
I've heard they're getting a trailer down. They're going to put us on a trailer and drive us to Rosyth, and we're staying in sea watches. That's what I've heard, mate, Jen. You heard it here first.
Lots of rumours have reached me. Sadly, many of them are started by my own people because that's what they do for fun. Anything at all happens, and the first thing you'll normally hear is that we're going to dry dock in South Africa, or we're going to an exercise in America. They will come out with stories and see how many people believe it.
The divers find nothing wrong with the propellers, so Captain Chick's advised to put Lusty back out to sea.
We'll give the shaft a bit of a turn before we move off the berth.
Awesome.
Okay. So if we turn them, and then we'll come to stop, and then if you let me know or get a positive report back from the spaces that there's not an issue, then we'll pull ourselves off the berth and go.
The engines are started, and at low revs, the dodgy shaft is looking good.
Slow ahead, port.
So, as the sun sets, Lusty sails out of Portland.
Once we get rid of that tug, we'll just give ourselves a kick and then go for the cap. Yes.
Steer 031.
Helen monitors how the shaft's doing from the control room.
Twin engine drive, both telegraphs half ahead, revolutions 5-4.
The captain increases speed as Lusty hits open water.
On a break, mate. Stop. Port shaft. Port shaft stationary.
Unfortunately, what we observed was some very loud screeching noises and some knocking noises. Right, senior watchkeeper on the bridge, make comms with down here, be my link with the captain. We then called what's called a machinery breakdown, and that is a way of letting the bridge know that we have got a significant issue with the machinery down below.
The captain decides to drop anchor and get more expert advice, leaving Lusty once more at a standstill. Next time on Warship, Helen's under the cosh.
Of course I feel anxious. That's my machinery. Okay, it's my people.
The crew vows to get the better of Fost.
If we don't pass this, we don't deploy. But we will pass this and we will deploy.
Lusty faces her first real danger.
Kevlar jacket just to protect main organs really if I get shot.
And what they've all been waiting for, getting their kit off before the big boys arrive.